not listening to La Mega. You're listening to 1450 AM WCEV Radio con Harv. Viste, y yo soy Elizalde. Presente. Take it away, Harv.
AM 1450 is WCEV Radio, where Chicagoland's ethnic voice and the voice of the Utes. That particular Ute happens to be K7. That is the Louder Than Love. It is like that's called bachata, right? The tunka tunka tunk stuff. Yeah, it's like a bachata version of something that came out like in 1991, and now K7 has remixed it all over. They will be in town on Saturday, the 20th of November, Y2K plus 10, as TKK7 comes to the Studio 63, 63rd in Harlem. I expect to be there. They expect to be there. All new interview on www.wakeupdancing.com, which is why we're playing an all new version of Louder Than Love. You're a freestyle fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I grew up listening to freestyle.
That's like your secret passion that you don't tell anybody, right?
Freestyle and classics. I love it.
There's somebody who shall remain nameless. Because now he does another type of music, kind of like rap, hip hop, and some Spanish stuff. And I kind of forgot, like 20 years ago when I was running another radio station, he used to bring in freestyle music and acts, and that's what he wanted to be. He went by the name of, I think he calls himself Mr. X or Dr. X, something weird like that. And he remembered me while we were doing an interview talking about another style of music. And off the air, he says, I don't tell people that I used to like freestyle. Like it was a disease or something. It's not. It's something to grow up with. Yeah. I think it's worthwhile. Wow, it is the 14th day of November already. Mid-November. We're only like 10 days away from Thanksgiving.
Oh my God.
That happened fast.
Super fast.
And if you weren't ready for it, all you have to do is set foot outside. Because what did I say the temperature was? 39 degrees. And like a couple of days ago, we were doing outdoor recess in the 60s. And it's 39. Hey, it's another exciting edition of Club Kids Radio, everybody. Marilyn Camacho's in studio. Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
Are you up? Are you awake? Are you ready?
Yes, I had my Bustelo. So
I appreciate you coming out on a Sunday morning, because I know how difficult it can be to come out on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock, especially because you've been performing for the last few nights.
Yeah.
So, and that's Brain People.
Yes.
Tell us about Brain People real quickly, because it's reminding me of when I was at Wells and I was like the outcast, because I was like the brainiac, but I was a clown.
Okay.
So it's okay to be a brainiac if you're a clown, because you could tell jokes, but the other ones that didn't tell jokes, they were like off to the side because they were intelligent. Ooh, it's not cool to be smart. So Brain People's, that's something that has to do with smart. That's from November the 12th. It's got a month worth of weekends up at Pateo Baño, 2620 West Division Street. Tell us more.
Well, it's one of Jose Rivera's new plays. For those of you who don't know who Jose Rivera is, he's a playwright, and also he also writes screenplays as well. And he actually wrote the Motorcycle Diaries, and a lot of other just great, wonderful plays like Cloud Tectonics. I think right now, actually, he's in the middle of writing a screenplay for Cloud Tectonics. So I'm with Urban Theater Company, UTC. I'm one of the co-founders and artistic directors of the company, and we're kicking off our 5th season with the first show being Jose Rivera's Brain People.
I feel so bad. I feel almost as bad as when I had Alex Meda here with Teatro Luna, and they were celebrating their 10th anniversary, and I had never had them in studio, and I kind of felt bad because I hadn't focused on them before, but we did pretty good work after that. Now you're telling me that your outfit is celebrating 5 years and again?
5 years.
What is it with these secrets?
You got to tune in, Harv. You got to tune into the streets. You got to know what's going on.
But like the regular person, the brain people that are not in the know are probably what's keeping you from blowing up and exploding. So what do we have to do to let people know that Teatro's 10 years and Urban Theater Company is 5 years? You guys have been around forever, and it's like you're a secret, and only recently has the Latino theater scene exploded here in the city, but people have been doing it forever.
Well, I think it's also partially because there's so many theater companies in Chicago. It's ridiculous. There's like something over like 200 theater companies here.
Is that ridiculous good or ridiculous bad?
No, it's ridiculous good. People know that Chicago is the theater mecca, but it also makes it kind of difficult for other theater companies or a good amount of theater companies to really just make their name out there, to get their name out there and just to make a really strong impact on the theater community. Because there's just so much competition, but I think it's a good thing, I think it's a really good thing. I mean, the fact that we're a multicultural theater company, that's pretty unique in itself.
But that does make it ultra competitive, so it might keep people from wanting to get involved just because they don't know whether they're going to be able to survive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's also a good amount of people out there that are like, it's another theater company. Let's see how long they're gonna last, So a lot of times you don't really get the support that you wish you could get right off the bat, just because there's so many out there,
So then to have lasted 5 years, which is longer than the average marriage in America.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
It is a big deal. So what's the secret?
The secret is perseverance. I have a good, strong team. My two partners, Ivan Vega and Madrid St. Angelo. We're the founders of the company. We've gone through so much over the past couple of years, but we've survived it. And I think a lot of it is just perseverance, faith, and really just supporting each other and just trying your hardest to get the word out there.
I've also noticed when I talk to a lot of you in the business here in the city that it's more love of the game than anything else.
Oh my
because
God, it really is.
There's not money. I went to Gorilla Tango to see It Takes a Village, and it's a shoebox.
Yeah.
It's
a very small black box.
It's small and it's intimate. Bateo Baño is the same way.
It is.
Even if you went to Chicago and Halstead with the Chicago Center for Performing Arts, El Teatro, their smallest rooms are maybe 200 people. So it's not like you guys are out making money. You're doing it for the craft.
Absolutely. I mean, the goal, to just jump into it, you have to do it for the love. We do it for the love, and because too, we're actors first. We wanted to do work that really represents us as actors and stuff that we wanted to do that nobody else was doing in Chicago. And I think that's really where it came from, hopefully now we're in a place looking into the future where we are looking to make a real career out of this and, actually really get paid for what we do. So, and I think that we're moving closer and closer to that, so it's a good thing. The doors are opening, and I'm sure everything's just going to blow up in the next year or two.
Well, it ought to, because there's an insane amount of talent here in the city that people are missing out on if they've not been there. And then the other thing that I noticed too is once somebody's discovered you, especially in our culture, we want to keep you. We don't want to share you with anyone. So it's kind of like, you're a bandwagoner and you weren't there in the beginning. But especially in the theater business, isn't it better to be accepted by a broader audience? And it's not like you're leaving your roots, but you are expanding your horizons. There are people that will be upset if you're expanding your horizons because you're supposedly leaving your roots. But if you didn't do that, then how successful would your career become, or would these theater companies be, if you keep doing the shoebox theaters?
Absolutely. I think definitely everybody wants to aspire to get bigger and better. I think finally actually conquering the Chicago theater community and being able to really make an impact here, that's obviously the first step before we can actually go on a more global scale, really take it outside of Chicago. So that's definitely the bigger goal.
Now, don't take this the wrong way.
No.
Back in June, July or so, I fell in love with you. Not romantically, not on an emotional level, on an artistic level. I went to see GL 2010, Not Your Generic Latina.
Oh, it's a great show.
I went to see it. I had interviewed Alex and Lauren, and we had talked about it, and I went to see it, and it was a collaboration. It was an ensemble. There were a lot of people on stage, and when I got home, I said, "That's that one girl that stood out," and that's why I think I shot you an email. I don't remember if it was a MySpace or a Facebook note.
Yeah, I think you sent me a message on Facebook.
I sent you a note, and I said, "Wow, this girl is talented. This girl is huge." and I selfishly wanted to interview you to not only meet you but to also expose you to anybody who might be listening either here at www.wakeupdancing.com. But man, you got some talent. And that, to me, that's what stood out. And what got me most is I think talking to somebody that called you a chameleon. I said she did like this whole thug thing. Then she became, tite, abuelita, and you did several things on stage that night. And it's a shame to say something like that because it sounds like you're taking away from other cast members. But I don't know if anybody else told you this, but for that particular event, you stood out. And to me, it was an amazing thing to watch. You got all these people on stage and everybody's good. But the one actor that I kept coming back to was, I gotta meet that lady.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I don't know what kind of response I'm trying to get from you. But I enjoyed that you did so many different things.
Well, it was fun. It was a really fun show, and I love Teatro Luna. I love the work that those ladies do, and it was a real pleasure to come back to them because my first show in Chicago was with Teatro Luna. I did the Maria Chronicles with them when they were working out of their space in Pilsen. And it had been it's been 10 years. And, prior to Generic Latina, I had, went to Miranda, Alex, Tanya, all of them. I was like, I want to work with you guys again. It's been a while, we should do something. And the show came up and, I auditioned for it. Mimi called me and, she's like, girl, we want you to do this, So it was really fun to work with the girls again. I had a blast working on that show. It was a real collaborative effort. It was fun because I got to do the acting and I also got to do my rapping.
And that was probably one of the things that stood out, calling you a chameleon, because you did so many different things, but in each one you stood out, even to the point, and I think one of the raps that you had done was more politically inclined. It was like a social commentary.
Yeah, there's three.
So it wasn't just let's make these people laugh. We're gonna make them think too.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was, Miranda. She wrote a good portion of the ideas and the thoughts for the raps in between each one, and basically it was put on me to just make it work.
I was just gonna ask you that.
Get the girls together, create the choruses. Create the separate verses for all the girls to kind of be involved with each piece, and then just making the raps, come to life with the music. And
how much of that on stage was Marilyn Camacho?
There was a good, I would say, the performance, the way that everything was set up as far as the orchestrating of how it was all put together, that was all me. The ideas and the thoughts, a very big portion of that actually was Miranda. I just came in and just kind of just made the words flow and had everything just come together so it rhymed perfectly, and that we had, choruses and the hooks and everything come together. So it was collaborative, but I did spend a good deal of time putting it together to make it work with all the music. So
and the audience was really appreciative of what you did. They did a Q&A afterwards, and if they would have let the Q&A continue, you might still be going on today. I think it was the 3-woman skit where you were the abuelita. I guess it was abuelita or Titi. I don't remember.
Eva.
Those were the skits that the audience seemed to eat up more than anyone else. And they're like, man, that needs to be on TV. And
well, yeah, I was actually in the middle of writing. After that, getting such a large response from that character, I was actually supposed to be doing a one-woman show for Michael Kendall's festival.
I remember that.
And the reason I didn't end up doing it was because I got booked to do a indie film.
I remember that too, which explains why there's a big difference between June 5th and November the 14th.
Yeah.
We were talking off the air about when I first tried to get you in, and we're thinking, it was August. It wasn't even August. It was June. And then you go run off and do a movie. Yeah,
man, it just kind of happened, and it was a great opportunity, and the dates conflicted, and I felt so bad about it, and I was so scared to call Mikey. I was like, Mikey, I can't do it. I have to.
Well, he's the Godfather of comedy, Can't disappoint him.
No, but he was great, and he was so supportive, and he's like, you know what, Marilyn, he's like, do the film, do what you do. He's like, whenever you're ready to do that show, he's like, I got you. I got your back. So Mike is awesome for that,
The exposure from GL 2010, was that a little different than the previous exposures you've had? Or is it pretty much the people that have followed you around since you started?
I think I've gotten a different response. I definitely have had people follow me, and I think just follow UTC, our Urban Theater Company in general. Like, we have a nice, really solid, loyal fan base of people that come to see our shows and support us. I think after that show, I got a large response from like the younger girls that came to see the show. There was a lot of young Latina girls that came to see the show, and they felt that they could really just relate, I think, more to like the character, the rap character.
You're empowering young ladies now, aren't you?
The hip-hop MC character in the show. And I got a lot of emails from girls, asking if I'd teach classes and workshops and stuff like that, and that was awesome. That was awesome to get that response from those girls. So I'm going to keep people in the loop on what I'm doing, and it's nice to know that I was able to reach out to a younger audience in that way.
If you're on hold at 773-777-1450, hang tight. We will get to you in a smidge. November the 12th to December the 12th is Brain People. You want to head out to 2620 West Division Street. Nice thing is that you're doing Sunday afternoons too, right? Well, not quite afternoon,
early
but it's
evenings.
Sundays.
Mm-hmm. As opposed to 3 o'clock matinees, we're going to, we do 6 o'clock. But actually, I do want to plug for November 27th. We are doing a 3 o'clock matinee to benefit the actual space, the Batey Urbano.
Oh, cool.
So that's the one matinee we are adding on the 27th.
When I was running the Miguel Ibredo Boys and Girls Club, which is right around the corner from Batey, the kids used to go from the club to Batey to the club, and at that time they were doing a lot of spoken word stuff with the kids. Yeah. And if they were not at Batey, they were at the club. They were either playing or performing or practicing. And that is a huge resource in the community that, again, if you don't know what it is, you just walk right by it. Yep. You go to Café Colau, you get your Bustelo, and you're all happy. But there's a theater right there. People forget, but what I do like about their audiences, and I've been there several times, is that it is such a cross-section. And the last time I was there was a blind older woman enjoying the show, and sitting next to me was a girl that looked like she was 8 or 9 years old. And to me, I think that's what the whole experience of theater should be. There was a little bit for everybody. And a woman who couldn't see could feel what was going on stage. And this little girl, she was not clapping her hands, she was clapping her feet. She was hitting them together like this. And I thought that was pretty neat. You've got a senior citizen and you got an 8-year-old in the same building watching a show, having the same type of impact. And that's something that Batey can do that a lot of other places can't do. Tell us about your superhero alter ego. Well, because if you notice, when I was pushing this, I was saying Marilyn, quote unquote, Rubio Camacho. I'm pretty sure that people who are Rubio fans before you were doing the Abuelita were tripping, because this is Rubio, yo. So this is another facet of your personality. This is an alter ego. Are you like Clark Kent and Superman? Tell me about this Rubio Marilyn Camacho thing, because you even have separate Facebook pages. I do separate both of those personalities. Rubio, that's my hip hop alter ego. Yes, it is. That's my other persona. Obviously aside from theater, I have I have the Marilyn Camacho, which is really, I use that more so for my theater stuff, and the Rubio is the more hip hop music oriented stuff. Yeah. Well, what I want to do is I want to play this track so people can hear what you are musically. And I'm telling you, if you have not seen the Rubio portion of Marilyn's life, it's cool, because there's an attitude, there's a take charge, but then there's this little winky wink smirk, like I ain't gonna hurt you, but I could if I want to. And I don't know if it's been described that way before, but that'll be on your next quote book. And I think that's pretty neat. And then you do all these other stuff that we need to talk about. So again, if you want to join us, 773-777-1450. This would be the latest single. This was what the Red Eye featured at one point, right? The newspaper. Fire It Up. This would be entitled Fire It Up. Rubio or Marilyn Camacho. We'll be back. Club Kids Radio.
Get down on the flow. Got bass pounding out of the dough of my black Impala drop low. Pass the joint so I can take a toast. Make my way past the velvet road. Yeah, I'm sipping Bacardi and Coke. Play my song, DJ, let's go. Cause tonight I'm putting on a show. While I'm popping bottles, Pommery champagne. Your boys drinking Moscato, we drinking for your man. Ain't no other gato strong enough to stand against my bravado. I'm a new female brand. Everybody stand up, yo, I came to party. And get your hands up, yo, let's get it started. Moonshine at the bar, Rubio brought it. I'ma get super lit in that retard. Only, 4 members only, can only be a member if you're rock hills and ponies. Reaching for a Grammy, maybe a Tony. While I'm busy dreaming, you can pass me the Stoli. I'm loving my attire, keeps me desired. Feeling that wired, you're looking kinda tired. You ain't even ready for what's gonna transpire. Just give me the light, I'ma light that fire. Oh my God, come on by, yeah, you know we're hot. Sexy bras, super raw, hot, fierce female squad. Avant-garde superstars, we're not bringing any harm. Not too far from the bar, slamming shots is where we are. So everybody stands up, Ruby came to party.
Hey, it's Rubio, everybody. That one's entitled Fire It Up. Now, this is your latest single, correct? Mm-hmm. And from what I read, it was in some sort of contest or something with the Red Eye newspaper?
Yeah, the Red Eye, they do, it's the Kyle's Files.
Ooh, Kyra Kyle's, I like her.
Yeah. she does this contest, I think it's on a weekly basis. It's called the Track Off, where you have to submit your song. There's certain little rules, but you submit it, and if she picks it, it's basically a track off between you and another artist's song. So I was selected, and you literally have like 24 hours to get everybody to go online and vote for you.
Is that what you did?
Yeah. Yeah. I blasted it on Facebook. I was texting everybody, calling people, and my people they came through for me, and I won the track off. And then from that, they did a small feature on me in the Red Eye, and
that is cool.
A shout out on Channel 9. So it was pretty cool. I got a little bit of exposure from that. So
toe to toe with Rubio and lost. You lost. You want to go to the celebrity hotline? Let us go to the celebrity hotline. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
What's happening? You know, according to the Facebook, Marilyn Rubio Camacho really likes deep voice, very white people. So can I talk like this for the rest of the show?
Yeah, that's what I saw. What's up, mommy?
What's up?
Chilling. What you want? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm tired as hell today.
Okay.
I was up watching the fight last night. Margarita got whooped.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big Pacquiao fan.
Yeah, but the problem is now it's a bunch of skinny guys wanting to fight. I'm old enough to remember when the heavyweights would go at it. Mm-hmm. And now it's just skinny guys fighting.
All these little guys. That's the best fight nowadays.
Well, except for when Cain Velasquez took it to Brock Lesnar the other day.
Oh, yeah, that was a big fight. That was a good fight.
That was sad because I'm a Brock Lesnar fan. And then that Cain was able. He just destroyed Brock, man. Anyhow, you're on the celebrity hotline. You're also on the road, so I wanted to get you online, and you wanted to say yo to Miss Yo herself.
Yeah, I want to holler at my girl Marilyn. You know who this is, right, Marilyn?
Is this Larry?
Oh, this Shorty Do
You're crazy.
Shorty Doer?
Yeah, it's a little nickname, Shorty Doo Wop.
Oh, Shorty Doo-Wop. He's on the street corner stylistic style.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
So yeah, me and my daughter are on our way to church right now, and I'm trying to come out and see you Saturday. Me and my girl, we're gonna try and come to your show Saturday and then kick it afterwards.
Okay, that'd be great. That would be great. You know, it's
I've been on hold for about 10 minutes, man. Like, damn.
we were talking and we were learning about Marilyn Yo Camacho Rudy.
You don't even know her name. Look, you only got my 9 names. Man, what is your name?
She's got all these personas. She's abuelita también.
Yeah, see, living on her own. That's what it's doing. She's living that bacheloretteism.
So,
well, that's what's up, Larry. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. So
definitely, everyone to call and say hello, mommy. Have a good day, okay?
Okay, you too, baby.
So this will be the music that sets the tone as you head into the church. Let the babies wave their hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care.
what's up. I'll holler at y'all, man. Have a good day.
All right, bye-bye.
100.
You've got your fandom. This is tone setting for church, right? Because then you have to go to confession and stuff.
Oh, jeez, yeah. And when you see the Brain People set, oof, that's
we
church
have
right
to
there.
we have to talk about Brain People, because from what I've read, and I haven't been there yet, but I expect to go if not today, on Sunday, next Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a tribunal of actors. There's just 3 of you for the whole show.
It is. We're really proud and we're excited because this is actually UTC's first all-woman show. So it's all about the girl power on this one, and directed by a woman as well, Marty Lyons, very talented director. And the 3 actresses are me, Kate Brown, and Amanda Powell. And basically, it's set in war-torn Los Angeles in the distant future. And you have this one character, Mayana, which is my character. I'm very wealthy, rich Puerto Rican woman, and I invite 2...
They're everywhere.
And I invite 2 strangers every year over for dinner, this huge feast that I have. And I have a purpose behind it, a very dark purpose.
Well, hold your thought. I'll write that down. Dark
Yeah,
purpose, because we have to take our 10:30 brequisito,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 10:32. So we'll find out. Well, we've already heard the dark side. I mean, there's a couple other songs that'll have your dark side coming out.
Mm-hmm.
We can't play them all, but it's because that's the way music is these days, yo.
That's right. That's right.
As in Ruby. 10:33. We're in studio with Marilyn Camacho. She's performing throughout the weekends up until December the 11th, but they're Baño, 2620 West Division Street. Run to urbantheaterchicago.org for Brain People. We'll talk about it a little bit more and hear the dark side, but in the meanwhile, more Rubio and then our Brequisito.
I got my girls with me, acting all prissy. They're the Pussycat Dolls and I am Missy. All riled up in VIP, sipping crispy. If we leave now, this club is gonna miss me. I got a little something up my sleeve, baby.
Yo, what's up, party people? This is Corin. I'm chilling in Chicago with Harv Roman.
Ya vino el momento que esperabas, tan hambrienta para la fama. Tienes que cantar y no tienes energía, estás maltratando a ti misma. Tu salud ha cambiado de día y ahora la noche es tu vida. Los amigos, ¿a dónde se fueron? Nada más se acerca cuando tiras dinero. Y ya ha volado por todo el mundo, el amor de millones es tan profundo, pero en tan poquito de tiempo ya te caíste si tienes miedo. Entonces te encontraste entre 2 cines, uno volando y el otro pensando a dónde estoy. Yo soy una estrella caída, se me fue mi fuego. Serás una estrella caída, se te fue tu fuego. Pobre estrella caída, ya se fue tu fuego. Mírate ahora tan
WCEV, Javier Román tocando radio con Marilyn Camacho. We can do the rest in Spanish, right?
No.
Come on. Música, música, música y más música. Hablando con teléfono, people. Want to go back to the Celebrity Hotline? Because it's going to keep buzzing.
Okay.
Celebrity Hotline, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Hey, we're listening to Marilyn Camacho, but really we're listening to Rubio.
Rubio?
Yes.
Yeah, I've never met Rubio before. I've known Marilyn for a bit.
She's the one that everything that she finishes saying, she crosses her arms up like that. Word.
I've seen that on her Facebook page.
Well, see, there you go. That's the thing. You've got these multiple personalities.
I know, right?
She could be smiley, happy Marilyn. She could be the serious cover person for the Brain People promotion.
Yes.
Or she could be the yo across the arm. What happening, yo? I'm not a rapper, by the way.
I've seen the first 2, but I've never seen Rubio, so I can't wait to meet her.
Okay.
But you've gone out and done shows as strictly Rubio, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So is that happening anytime soon?
Yeah, I was actually slated for a hip hop show the night that we had that horrible storm. It was like, what was that, like last week or 2 weeks ago? Yeah, it was a horrible, horrible storm. I was supposed to have a show that night, and I wasn't able to make it because just the weather was just terrible and driving was crazy. But yes, I actually have hip hop shows that I'm planning to do. I was hitting the hip hop circuit pretty hard, like going to the open mics and doing shows. But, you know, running into rehearsals for the show, I kind of had to put all that stuff on halt for a little bit. But now that the show's on and running, you're going to be seeing me on the circuit again very soon. So.
I want to be invited, Marilyn.
I'm sorry?
I want to be invited.
You want?
Do you know who this is?
I think, is this Marcella?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a big winner.
What's up, mommy? By the way, let me just say that Marcella is our assistant stage manager for Brain People, and girl, you are doing a wonderful job. She's doing an amazing job.
You guys make it too easy.
And she was actually in one of our past shows in Runaways. Very talented. She's also a very talented actress and singer as well. So
thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, she's bowing right now. So then, both of you on the Celebrity Hotline and you here in studio, then talk about this dark purpose. Before Brequisito, you were talking about a dark purpose, and yeah, you do look kind of upset in this picture. So what? So you're a rich Puerto Rican woman, and there's one in every neighborhood, and you've invited two people who you don't know,
strangers,
to dinner.
I do this every year. Every year.
In real life?
And
or in this play?
In the play.
And then before the Brequisito happened, you're going to say there's a dark purpose to inviting somebody for dinner? There
is.
So it's not just a penin?
Yeah, I invite them over and I pay them $20,000 each.
Oh, cool. Can I go?
To come. And, you know, they come over and I have this feast set up and there's a really interesting purpose.
Like the Puerto Rican Oprah. You get a card. You get a card.
Now I can't say it. I can't say why because then I'm gonna spoil the whole play.
Oh.
But just know that all three of the women, all three of us, we definitely want something. And at the end of the play, miraculously, everybody gets what they want, and it turns out to be a really beautiful thing.
Yep.
So.
And if I can add, Mel, it's also these three women have been traumatized in their life, and they're just, all of them are seeking some kind of cure, some kind of medication for their soul, and you guys have to see the play to see if that happens.
So these are strangers, but they've been chosen.
They've been chosen.
It wasn't somebody off the street.
Yes.
I chose the two women. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I chose them for two very, very distinct purposes, and it's magical realism at its finest. Like the play is just absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, and it hits you like, oh my God, it hits you so quickly. It's a 90-minute show. There's no intermission. But and by the way, we're really excited. The show just opened on Friday, and we got notice yesterday that the show is Jeff recommended.
Yep.
So we're really proud of that, Urban Theater Company. This is our second production. The last one we did was Cool by His Teddy Bear. I directed that, and that was also Jeff recommended. So this is our second show following that that is now Jeff recommended. So we're really excited about that. Yep. So shout outs to the company.
Absolutely. They're really good.
And you, the Celebrity Hotline, what was your name again?
Marcella.
You've seen this like from the conception to the rehearsals to what's happening on stage live. So what's that process like?
Yes, I have, and it's been extremely interesting just to watch the development of the characters throughout the process. To go from the beginning to where it's at now, it's just everyone's grown so much, and all the three ladies, Kate and Amanda and Marilyn, have been, Marty has been great at directing what her objective is, and Marilyn and Kate have just grown so much, and like Marilyn said, it is a gorgeous play. It's romantic, it's poetic, but it still has that that edge that Urban Theater Company is known for. So you guys have to come and check it out.
So you're going to play with all of our emotions?
You know it.
Where we laugh and cry and be enraged at the same time?
Yep. There's a little bit of everything, laughing, crying, very nostalgic. So it's very, very cool to see.
It sounds very cool, and I expect to be there very, very soon. And I thank you for calling in and
yeah, no problem.
Joining in on the fun. And I thought you were going to yell at me, but you didn't, so that's good.
No, why would I yell? No yelling.
Because the other dude did.
No yelling. I understand, so.
He didn't like being on hold.
Quite all right, no worries.
Thank you, Marcy.
No problem. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you go. We found out the dark purpose. We got 60 seconds to break. When we return, more Club Kids Radio.
Alex Rodríguez de los New York Yankees nos habla de los Boys and Girls Clubs.
Cuando tenía 9 años, mi mamá tuvo que tomar 2 trabajos para mantener unida a la familia. No llegaba a casa hasta las 11. Estaba a la calle, pero después de la escuela, ella nos dejaba en el Boys and Girls Club, nuestro segundo hogar.
Boys and Girls Club es el lugar ideal para los niños después de la escuela, para hacer las tareas, hacer amigos y jugar pelota.
Eddie Rodríguez sigue encargado del club de mi barrio. Él me enseñó a ser positivo, a creer en mí mismo y a hacer las mejores jugadas en la vida. Hoy sigo yendo al Boys and Girls Club para entrenar con Eddie, porque él es como un padre para mí.
En más de 3,000 Boys and Girls Clubs hay gente dedicada como Eddie que ayudan a más niños a alcanzar el éxito.
Que si funciona, pregúntame a mí. Apoya el Boys and Girls Clubs, el lugar ideal para crecer.
Hey, it's Alex Rodriguez, everybody. 1047 Club Kids Radio, and we hope that you're all doing well. It is November the 14th. Ooh, the last time we checked, it was like 39 degrees, so you need to be ready, because if you think it's like springtime, no, it's like fall, winter, week before Thanksgiving kind of weather. We're talking to Marilyn Camacho. She's appearing in Brain People. That occurs the 12th of November through the 12th of December. Bateo Baño, 2620 West Division Street. We've had a couple of callers, and I wanted to shoot the YouTube footage, and these people keep calling. What are you, big and famous and popular? Man. But caller, hang on, don't go anywhere. I want people to get a more of a scope of who you are and where you come from, because I'm reading on your MySpace, which you haven't logged on to since September, young lady.
I know.
And
Facebook's taken over.
Unique situation in which you are the Puerto Rican daughter of a Mexican community.
Yeah. My family, we grew up in Pilsen. I grew up in Pilsen, right on 18th and Cullerton.
I know that well. That's right by the park.
Dvork Park.
Dvork Park.
We lived right across the street from the
swimming
Dvork
pool
Park.
Right there.
Yep. And we were like the only Puerto Ricans in the whole neighborhood. And after that, we moved to 21st and Walcott. And my uncles actually own a building there, and again, the only Puerto Rican family like in the neighborhood, and my uncles actually still live there, and so we grew up. I didn't grow up in a I didn't grow up in Humboldt Park. I had other family members that were in that area, and we would obviously go visit, and I got a taste of that.
You've had a little bit of both. You've had the Flags of Steel, and then you've had the Mayan Bridge.
Yeah, and it was funny, like I moved back into the neighborhood, so I'm living in Pilsen now, too. Actually 2 blocks away from where I grew up as a kid. So it kind of feels good to be back in the area, and God has changed so much. But it's a great community. I love being back.
You've also had an interesting set of influences, both musical and personal. Tell me about that. Let's see if you know where I'm coming from, because we didn't talk beforehand.
Yes. Well, I come from a big family. I have 4 sisters and 3 brothers. There's 8 of us, and I'm the middle child of the girls, obviously. And I growing up, my family, hip hop was a big influence in my family from my brothers. My 2 older brothers, they were breakers, graffiti artists. My uncles were part of basically dance breaking crews. So growing up as a kid, going outside in front of my house, when we actually used to live across the street from the Dvork Park, they used to have the mats out and they used to do the break dancing. So I grew up around that.
You guys could
as a
afford
kid.
mats?
Yeah, I know, right?
This cardboard stuff? She is a rich Puerto Rican.
There's more cardboards than anything. So I grew up around that, and then my sister, my sisters were into like the new wave at the time, freestyle music and classics, you know. So I kind of have a really well-rounded background. Then of course my parents always playing the music from the island, you know, the salsa, the merengue. So,
but this is kind of interesting because in the Latino culture, a lot of times they're not always supportive of being a performing artist. Either a lot of times, heck, they don't even say go to college. They say finish high school and go to work.
Oh yeah.
And then in some cultures, it was okay to have babies right after high school because you got to carry the family name. So you wanted to become a performer early on?
Yeah, I was always a little drama queen from when I was a kid. I was always like singing and hopping around the house, dancing, and like my brothers used to yell at me when I was a little girl because I used to talk to myself before I went to bed, but I wasn't talking to myself. I was literally just like, I had characters like sitting in the couches next to me, and I would play out little scenes in my head.
I wasn't the only one. Cool.
Yeah, so I was a very, I guess you could say, artistic child, and I always wrote poetry.
The support was there?
Yeah, the support
it was never the women's places, whatever?
No, my parents were never really like that. I mean, I think they were kind of concerned.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my parents were a little bit concerned, you know, when they figured out, like, oh my God, she's going to college and she's going to study theater and acting, and you know, I think there's obvious worry and concern there because, you know, it's not a career that's guaranteed, you know. It's something that people work years and years and years at before even getting close to making it. So there was definitely some concern there, but in the end, they've supported me throughout the whole, you know, thing. I went to a performing arts high school. I went to Curie High School. And I studied drama and chorus and singing stuff there, and I was always in plays there as well. So they've been supportive throughout the whole process. They got the picture, the idea that this is what I want to do. So now they just embrace it.
And you're being embraced by your fandom at 773-777-1450. But I did want to talk about that. And you've also done a lot of paying dues. I mean, yeah, for months we couldn't get in contact because you were doing a movie. But you've done a lot of things, you know, where you're putting yourself out there, and it's not, you know, obviously it's not financial gain, so it's not an overnight thing for you, is it?
No, absolutely not. This has been years, you know, from coming back from college, coming back into the city and hitting the ground running, you know, trying to go to these open mics and get myself acquainted with the hip hop community here, and then also trying to get my foot in the door in the theater community.
And that's got to be the worst one. And I don't know how you geek yourself up for an open mic. We've done Punts at Night. We've had them here to talk about some of the things that they're doing. And they're like, come on down, sign up. 7:30, the microphone turns on. That's insane. I mean, I'm sure it prepares you for life.
Yeah.
But, man, I don't think I'd want to do that.
I mean, it's tough. It's not for everybody. You got to definitely have thick skin to do this, you know. I mean, and I think you know, speaking from an actor's point of view, you know, going to auditions and getting yourself revved up to go in there and give it your best. And sometimes when you don't get the audition or you don't land it, you know, we get down on ourselves. But after a while, you just got to learn that it's the nature of the business. You know, you just got to pick yourself up and keep moving. Very
cool. 10:54 is heading towards 11 o'clock, and I don't have multiple arms, so I'm going to put the camera down. But if you went to YouTube, you see a little bit of that conversation, which is very cool. Okay. We want to go back to the celebrity hotline and find out, you know, who's ringing us. Celebrity hotline, can you hear me? No, you cannot. Celebrity hotline, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
How is ya?
I'm good.
It's Sunday morning. It's Marilyn Camacho, Rubio, to those of us who know how to rhyme stuff.
I'm actually calling her sister, Abby.
Hi. Hi, sister.
Well,
I just had a call to shout out my sister. I'm really, really proud of her, and I think she's doing great. She's an amazing person.
Did she drive you nuts, though, when she had the hairbrush in the mirror back then?
Yeah, she was always a weird child. I'm not going to lie about that one.
That's beautiful. I'm going to cry.
But she's a talented one in the family, so we're very proud of her.
Well, you all have talents, they're just in different things.
Yeah, we all have talents. There's a couple. Yeah, I'm not the only one.
Yes. But she's the one that's more, she sings, she's artistic, and I don't have that quality, but it's all good.
So is this big sister or little sister?
I'm her older sister, Abby.
So you were able to watch her grow up. And
Yes,
she talked about the family earlier being supportive and not saying, Neener, you're never going to make it. So you're part of that system. So I guess sitting ovation for you, too.
Thank you. We're just very proud of her.
Thank you. And she's actually the one who was into New Wave. She was a little odd, too, growing up.
New Wave like B-52's Rock Lobster? Or New Wave like This Is Elvis?
No, New Wave, like, I wasn't into New Wave that much. I was into hip-hop a lot, and I'm still into hip-hop a lot.
Yeah, she is. She's into hip-hop. But she went through her dark phase, you know.
I did when I was way younger.
This in the Camacho family tree, man. Well, I'm gonna get to another call that's going blinkety blink, but I appreciate you calling and saying yo to your sister because we know in anything if your family. Done a little bit of everything. I'm glad that people got a little bit of taste of history in terms of what you've done and what you're about to do. And you want everyone to come out to see Brain People. And if not Brain People, you've got other things coming up as well.
Yeah. After Brain People, we're actually doing a second play of Jose Rivera's, which is Sonnets for an Old Century. And we're doing it at Steppenwolf. So after this, and I'll be in that show. This is also very exciting for us because Steppenwolf does this thing called the Visiting Theater Initiative every year. And basically over 200 companies, the majority of the companies in Chicago, they all submit a proposal to them. And they pick 3 every year to actually produce a play of theirs in their garage space. And we got chosen this year. So we're really excited about that. We're one of the 3, and we're going to be doing sonnets there. It's going to be running from February till late April, May. And after that, I will be focusing on basically developing the hip-hop theater aspect of Urban Theater Company.
Very cool. Let me do one more of these guys. Celebrity Hotline, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you're the last caller. We got about 60 seconds.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is this Marilyn? What's up? What's going on?
Hey, how are you?
How you doing? This is Ricky.
Ricky? Which Ricky?
Matthew's brother.
Oh my God, Ricky! Hey!
Oh my God, Marilyn! I just wanted to give you a shout out and tell you I just love everything you're doing. Your music is great. I'm gonna try to make it out to your show.
Oh, Ricky,
I voted for you on the track off in the Red Eye, and I just think you're just awesome.
Oh
awesome.
Man, thank you so
Fantastic.
much. I miss you guys. We gotta hang out soon, man.
Yes.
Have you learned anything this morning that you didn't know before? Did I do a good job?
Yes, I think it was awesome how you guys kind of just touched base at the core of, who Rubio is, who Marilyn is, and I think that was great because you got, your different personas and stuff, but kind of touch base on the core, the root.
Very cool. Told you there were two different people. Wow, but 10:59, show's over at 11, so all I can do is thank you for the call and
thank you.
Keep supporting the arts.
Thank you, Ricky.
Wonderful.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Ooh, and I gotta say the same to you. It's gonna be 11 o'clock.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
We can stay and talk, or we can leave after 11. But I want to thank you for coming out and
thank you
with
so
us.
much for having me, Harv. This has been great.
Tenemos que go.
All right.
Que hoy, bomba, yo me enamoré, en mi alma sentí la música de mi vida.
Pero solo quiero bomba, yo lo necesito. Bomba es mi vida, bomba está en mí.
Me dijeron que la bomba puede liberarme y yo lo creí, porque eso yo sentí.
Pero solo quiero bomba, yo lo necesito. Bomba es mi vida, bomba está en mí.
Hey, sitting ovation for the Chaitan Bomberas. And my feet are tapping. If I had a woman, my face she'd be slapping. That's right, right on. I'm gonna keep doing that deep voice only because you said you're a fan of Barry White.
I am.
That's right, Barry White.
I love deep voices.
If I talk like that,
yeah, I got a deep voice for a woman.
If I talk like that all the time, would I get married like really fast? That's cool. Marry the guy with the voice. Don't look at me, just talk to me. Go over there, call me. Oh, wow. Club Kids Radio. This is, I guess, exclusive contact for www.wakeupdancing.com because we just did an hour with Marilyn Camacho. Thank you again. Sitting ovation / Rubio or parentheses Rubio or quotations Rubio. And but we were on a roll like we usually are. And then 11 o'clock hits and then we have to do the regular formatted programming at 14:50 a.m. And there was things that we didn't touch on, and I kind of felt bad about that. So I asked if you could stick around, and you said for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here.
And then in the meanwhile, from Los Angeles, California, comes the word from Marisa Lopez.
Wow.
Give Marilyn a big hug and hello from Sal and I. Ooh, I get the hug.
Oh, wow.
She's a very talented lady. She needs to be in LA or NYC to show off her stuff. Congrats to her.
Oh, my God. Thank you, guys.
Okay, now.
Oh, thank you, Marisa and Sal. That's awesome.
I've known Marisa since like 93.
Wow.
We've been friends forever, and we're really tight with each other.
Wow.
And I've known Sal since he started, hanging out with Marisa.
Mm-hmm.
But Marisa, you might be listening online. I know you're not listening online now because we're not on the air live. But honestly, it does irk me a little bit when Chicago talent feels the need to go to LA or NYC in order to show off their stuff. Now, I know it's a necessary evil in a lot of cases. You just have to do what you have to do. But if that happens with everyone who wants to make it, what about the hometown?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel you. I hear you.
But I know that if Steve Levitan sent you an email and said, I'm going to develop something surrounding you, but you need to come to LA, you would do it.
It's one of those things. I mean, I actually went to the West Coast. I went to California. I actually went to San Diego a couple of years ago, and I lived out there for about 6 months, and I went out there to do music. And I was traveling back and forth between San Diego and LA, so I got a taste of the scene. I got a taste of what it's like out there. The weather is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I would just want to move out there just because of the weather. But, it's tough. It's one of those things where, like, I came back home and things just kind of took off for me here. And I think things are going really well. And honestly, I want to make it out of my city. I want to make it out of here. I don't want to have to leave to New York or to LA in order to quote unquote make it.
Well, there's something to say for being from here and giving back. Vince Vaughn is huge that way.
Yeah.
He's the big Hollywood guy now from Chicago. He spends a lot of time in Chicago, and then his latest movies, he makes certain that at least there's parts of it that are filmed here in Chicago. On the other hand, there have been people like Jim Belushi or Bill Murray that are proud of their roots, but you don't see them back so often.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I love Marisa, and Sal's a nice guy, and I'm afraid of him, but I really wish that the talent would at least come back here if you do leave, because Alex Ortiz, I think he's a friend of yours too, the comedian. He'll leave town also to do things, but he always comes back. The original Wildcat always comes back to the Steel Flags.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I mean, I did talked about it with my partners, about trying to become bi-coastal, where we do kind of branch off, maybe go to LA, New York for a month or two, just to kind of just audition, make some contact with some agents, but we always come back home. This is our roots. This is where we're from, I think that there's some exciting things going on right now. You have these there's some shows coming to Chicago being filmed here. You got, and that's exciting.
Jennifer Beals.
Yeah.
Jennifer Beals. She doesn't understand.
I love that woman. She's so talented.
She doesn't understand.
Oh my God.
I saw Flashdance when the Chicago Theater was still a movie house, and it was, I think it was Flashdance and Purple Rain, like back to back at the Chicago Theater, and I looked at Jennifer Beals. She doesn't know me, and I know she did the L Word, but she did a really good job of acting on the L Word.
She was awesome on the L Word. She really was. She was my favorite thing on that show.
Jennifer Beals.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Anyway, the illustration is there's a lot that's happening here in the city.
Yeah, there's a lot that's happening here, and I think it's going to continue to bubble, I think that if we continue to put ourselves out there and just really just give Chicago that extra push, and just trying to make things work here, I think that it's just going to kind of catalyst into something bigger, and everybody's going to just jump on the bandwagon, and next thing you know, we're going to be like, we'll be just as happening as New York and LA, and it's not to say that we're not happening now, but I think we can make it out of here.
Well, I selfishly kept you over because you had said something towards the end of the show that I scribbled down that I wanted to tap into, and even though it'll be online first before we air it on the AM, I would say consider it your very personal special audio footage. You know how you get the DVD because there's something extra? Like if you go to Grown Ups, they have a big thing on all the comedians. Well, this will be the thing that happens when you couldn't be there that was extra. You talked about being from Curie High. Curie.
I am, yeah, man, Curie. Woo-hoo.
Brighton Park.
Southside.
And
yeah,
the thing that I wanted to touch on when it came to Curie High School and communities like that is that there are a lot of kids who lose their way, especially that area. I have friends, and then they're still right around that Albany and Archer area. When I used to visit them just in high school, and I'm 47, so high school was forever ago, but it used to be an area that was considered a nice area, a fun area, a safe area. The Brighton Theater was still running movies, and now it's not as fun and safe, supposedly, as it used to be.
Yeah.
And I think that people like you can go a long way towards steering kids in terms of what they should or could do, so they don't feel that nothing is possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
You came from Madame Curie High School, and you've done well, and you did college and everything.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. Now, the little younger actors that want to follow in your footsteps, those kids that are sitting up at they just looking at you and surrounding you and getting your autograph on the program, which I'm sure has happened. What do you suggest to them if they actually do want to follow in the footsteps, and if not in theater, in life in general? Because a lot of times they feel, working at the Boys and Girls Clubs for years, I had the feeling that a lot of them think that they need to live down the expectations as opposed to living up to expectations. You have teenagers who feel like it's normal to become pregnant at a young age. You have teenage boys who feel like the family business doesn't necessarily have to be legal, and you've done things on the up and up. So if you were speaking at Curie or Kennedy or Kelly or even Clemente, just get Alex out of the way. You can do Clemente for Alex just the one time. What types of things do you talk to young people about, or would you want them to?
I will say too, the Bate Urbano, it's a youth-run space. That is a youth-run space run by college students and high school students. And so we see them all the time. I honestly would just tell the kids, I tell the youth, I say, if you have that dream, hold on to it and let that drive you. Keep going. Don't sit here and let anybody discourage you into thinking that you can't make it, because sometimes I think that when we are put in circumstances that are, let's say if somebody grows up in a circumstance or in a situation that they feel isn't as fortunate as somebody else's situation, I think that also too, like, we're products of our environment. So if anything, let the fact that wherever you grow up at or wherever you come from, if it's however negative it may be, let that drive you so that you can get out of that. You can strive to be better and just really, really focus on yourself and what you want to do. I think that we do get discouraged. Unfortunately, in the Latino culture, there's a lot of things going on culturally, and it's, I see it every day, all these young girls getting pregnant and, just so many crazy things happening right now in this world that we didn't have to deal with, 10 years ago. And it's astonishing, but I think that these kids out here, they just really need to focus and know that there's something better out there, and you can't let anybody get in the way of what you want to do,
Now, am I being overly dramatic when I ask you to sit for a couple extra minutes to address this?
No, absolutely not.
Because sometimes maybe I lay it on a little thick because my background is youth development.
Yeah.
But there are so many that don't feel like they can attain things. Or the things that they want to attain, are the easier things, even not necessarily legal, easier, and they don't see themselves wearing a jacket and tie. They don't see themselves in careers above and beyond, labor. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with labor.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
it's kind of a scary thought to me to have kids that don't think college is possible. It's a scary thought to me that kids, even the ones who are performing. One of your friends who called in, said he was Larry the doo-wop guy.
Yeah.
I forgot his
Larry.
name. I'm sorry. and it's funny because back in the day, the doo-woppers were on street corners doing it because they loved doing it, not because they were hanging out causing trouble.
Absolutely.
But they also did it because that was another way of getting a foot in the door in terms of trying to get discovered. What's her name? The American Idol girl. She was in the subway of Chicago not that long ago. and then she becomes the American Idol.
Mm-hmm.
So whether we're laying it on thick or not, the message has to come across to these young people that things are possible.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, being a CPS student and being from Curie,
Mm-hmm.
a school that, even though it's considered a high-performing school,
Mm-hmm.
CPS in general, they're not looking at kids being high performers, or communities, you know, looking at kids don't really see kids as doing things that are possible. So I thought it was important to touch on that. And sooner or later, if you haven't done it already, you're probably going to go back to your school. You're probably going to have an auditorium full of kids, and then they're going to say, I want to be like her. If they haven't said it already, and you probably have had little hugs and people wanting to be just like you. I don't know if they want to be like Marilyn or like Ruby.
Well, you know, I think that, you know, especially for the Latina girls, I mean, I'm a Latina, and I try to definitely represent and create myself, create an example, you know, for these girls to look upon, and hopefully, you know, if you see me on stage, you know what, and if I can inspire, you know what, that makes me happy at the end of the day. And I think that, like, you know, that's one thing I could say about the theater company, is that, like, every show that we do, we reach out to some type of youth organization, you know, surrounding whatever thing might be going on with the show. We've worked with the Safer Foundation, with the YMCA. We've actually worked with the Bate Kids. We were in one of the shows that they had going on. Me and Ivan actually were in their show. So we've tried to do what we can, you know. We try to get the students involved. We try to have them come and, you know, help out with maybe building the set, you know.
That's
and
cool.
Sometimes it's as easy as getting kids just off the street. You know, when our last show three shows ago, when we did Runaways, we were on North Avenue in California, and there was actually a group of kids, and I'm telling you, Harv, these kids were like 10, 11 years old, young kids. And we would be in rehearsals late at night, and these kids would be walking down the street, a group of them, it would be about 6 of them, at 11 o'clock at night, you know, 11 years old. And we would be like, what the hell are these kids doing out here, you know? So, you know, they would look in the window, and they were, you know, so me and Ivan, we went outside and we said, you guys want to come in? You know, and they came in. Do you know that for Runaways, we had this group of kids come in, we let them see the show for free, obviously, and we ended up having about 4 or 5 of them running the light and soundboards by the end of the run. They were helping us break up and set up the set before and after the shows, and they brought their friends with them. And we would have, and it was so touching for us, because at the end of the shows, they knew the songs. It was a musical. They knew the songs, you know. And that was what we could do. You know, we don't know where they come from. We don't know what their family situation was like. But we knew that at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you should not be at 11 years old roaming the streets. So if we can create an environment where you can come in and we're there, you know, we're older, we don't, you know, but I'm like, this is better. I would rather have these kids in here in the theater with us.
Well, that's what we did so much at the Boys and Girls Club throughout the years. We knew that they needed and wanted an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
We also figured out, with Clemente being just a few blocks away from the club, right before I had to leave the organization, I was in their Restorative Justice Committee. It was me and Casa Central and Espira and a few other people, and they called upon us at the club because they realized that we were having better successes with the so-called worst kids than they were having. And they're asking us, what are we doing that their bad kids are our good kids? And just like you did with those kids at 11 at night, I'm sure they're looking for an outlet, and I'm sure they had some energy that they need to release, and if they don't do it one way, they're going to do another way. But there's hope for those kids, and if you give them an outlet, then maybe they're not smashing windows at 11 at night. And so I applaud you for that, because it's true. You can't give up on them. I mean,
the little ones, it's getting younger and younger. You know, these kids are younger and younger, you know, 9, 10, 11 years old, you know, talking a certain way that you know, 21-year-olds should be talking. You know what I mean?
Pants on the ground.
You know, acting. So I feel like before we even hit the high school kids, we got to hit these kids in elementary schools, you know? Like, that's really where...
And that's why most of the kids are getting lost.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of preventive stuff happening. It's reactive. So the school system, and I don't want to bash them because I work at a school now, but the school system will react to things and not necessarily do anything to prevent the stuff. Yeah. Now, my specialty supposedly was leadership development, and we would grab the kids. Our youngest leadership kid was like 9 years old, and of course the oldest was 18. But the ones that you get when they're 9, those are the ones that you really are going to impact, because if you're a teenager, maybe you'll raise up your waistband while you're in the club because it's the rules, but when you go outside, it's going to drop back down. With the girls, it was the same way. Maybe they closed their collar a little bit to follow rules, but once they went outside, who knows? You're right. You get them when they're young, and you impact them when they're young, and then hopefully, it pays forward. Man, we could talk forever, but I'm not going to make you stay forever. but I thought it was important to hear your view on young people, because I'm telling you, you're going to be huge. And the kids are going to be looking up to you, and you're going to be on that Chicago skyline of talent that, when people think Chicago, boom, 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 and Marilyn Camacho is going to be up there. And that's why I stalked you by Facebook.
Well, thank you, and I hope to, I hope to get in a position where I could really give back to the community. I feel like on the South Side, there aren't enough community centers, there aren't enough YMCAs for these kids to get involved with, and that's why there's so much gang banging and so much violence on the South Side, and it seems to be more prevalent on the South Side than it is on the North Side. On the North Side, there seems to be a little bit more culture. Culturally, it's a little bit more diverse and open-minded to certain things, and I think there's more things for the kids to get into on the North Side. But on the South Side, I feel like it's just they're neglected, So yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to hopefully being in a position where I can definitely give back and create some type of something for these kids on the South Side.
Well, and that's cool. And we've learned that you're approachable. That if somebody wants to come to you and say hi and get a handshake and get some advice and talk in their ear a little bit about things, you're not above it, because you've stayed here extra, and you didn't know me from Boo when I first asked for the interview, and here you are 2 hours later.
Thank you.
So I do appreciate it, but I know you got to go.
Okay, Harv.
Brain People is happening, and other things will be happening as well. And as that continues, we'll keep you updated for this and the rest of the interview. www.wakeupdancing.com, and on 1450 AM we'll of course play this on a Sunday, maybe Thanksgiving Sunday, because I know I'm not going to have kids in studio, so I don't like taking them away from Thanksgiving. And on Thanksgiving, that particular performance is going to be a benefit, correct? So maybe we'll replay this then and let people know that they can go there, and you pay your ticket price, which is a little more inflated than the typical, but it's because it's supporting the cause. It
is, and we're going to have food. So there'll be food and some drink there as well.
Like pasteles and stuff.
Maybe.
I don't get that enough, because I just push buttons. I got to learn. Thanks again. It's been a blast to hang with you.
Okay, it's been a blast. Thank you so much.
Talk to you soon.
All right.
Bet you thought I didn't know my rights. Half of yours is now half or more of mine. Already signed on the dotted line. Disrespect me, gonna waste my time. I got too many goals and dreams to reach.
Wake up, wake up dancing, wake up dancing. Harv Roman's gonna make you dance. Wake up dancing, wake up dancing. Wake up, Harv Roman's gonna make you dance.
What's up, everybody? This is Marilyn Camacho, aka Rubio, and I am representing on the Harv Roman Show, 1450 AM.